Sarah Jenn, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of some of my postgraduate work. So I was going to be doing a sketchbook tour next, but I thought it would probably be a better idea that I would show you some of my sort of professional work before I show you my sketchbook, so you actually know what my work is about and you know where it's come from my degree and what sort of themes I'm working with and just generally what my work looks like, what kind of aesthetic I have and all those kinds of things. So a little bit about me. I started as a pencil portrait artist, and when I was on my degree I found that quite limiting. So in the end I ended up turning to embroidery, which seems strange, but I mean that's just the way my work went. So I did a lot of embroidered portraits, and then once I'd left university I carried on with embroidered portraits for a little while, but I found they were so time consuming, and even though I really loved the look of them in the end, it was just too time consuming, and I just my brain just couldn't take it. So I decided to experiment with paint. I had not painted for like 8 years, and I just thought let's just buy some paints and start painting. So this is where my work has sort of gone since then. So I'm going to start off showing you literally the stuff I started when I'd left uni, and then up until what I'm working on like right now. So I'm not showing you my degree work because I'm going to save that for when I do my sketchbook tour. I'll be showing you some of my degree work then. So let's get right into showing you some of my postgraduate work from 2017, I think it was. So when I was on my degree, when I did embroidered portraits, I did these absolutely huge embroidered, all hand embroidered, and I mean literally one piece took me like 2 to 3 weeks to do. So when I left uni I was like, I am never ever going to do an embroidered portrait again, and literally the first thing I did was an embroidered portrait. So this piece is actually one of 3 embroidered portraits that I did. So this is my grandpa, and like on my degree I was very interested in my own like personal history and memories, and I was mostly interested in memories within my home. So I wanted to sort of extend that a little bit to people who maybe passed away and who, you know, I thought fondly of but couldn't really remember them very well. So I was looking through my grandpa's old photographs, and I found these tiny little passport photographs that he'd had taken maybe literally for a passport or whatever he was having a picture for. So this one I decided that I would blow them all up, and there were 3 that I picked out I really liked. And what was interesting was one of them he was looking forward, one of them he was looking to the right, and one of them was looking to the left. And I just thought they really framed each other really well. So the collection is called Grandpa September 1932, because this is my very, very handsome grandpa. So he is my paternal grandfather, so he's my dad's dad. And I mean, he died when I was like 5 or 6. So even though I remember him vaguely, I don't remember him very well. I feel like my work's quite sensitive. When I say that, I mean it's sort of got a charming quality to it. I'm not really very aggressive with the way I paint. You know, it's not like hard brush strokes, or it's not. Everything I've always done has been very neat and very delicate and very, well, sensitive, like I said before. So I felt like this embroidery was really giving my work something a little bit different. I'd seen embroidered portraits before, but I'd never seen anybody do it the way that I'd been doing it. So the reason for like the cross-hatching, I literally, when I was doing my degree, and like I said, I had these massive portraits I was doing and sort of paintings with thread, I needed to cover space as quickly as possible, and the ones I'd seen, they were just putting tight stitches in next to each other, and I just thought, I can't do that. That's going to take me absolutely forever. So I sort of found this style of cross-hatching and just building up colour. So I'd put like a layer of one colour of thread, then I would layer up the shading. So if you can see, there's like less stitches here, but then there's sort of heavier stitching across round here as I am building up the colour and the tone within the actual picture. So the reason behind the colour as well, the passport photographs are in black and white, but I think because they'd been left in a box for so long, they'd kind of turned green. But I just really loved this kind of colour. It gave this such an old look, an old wash to it. I think the other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to bring these pictures out of the box and, you know, display them, you know, bring them back to life and sort of, you know, these pictures are old and forgotten and like they're not something that you would, if it were a passport photo, it's not something you're going to put in a picture frame and be like, oh look, oh do you remember Grandpa in that photo booth, you know? That's such a great memory of him. But I just think that it was such a nice snapshot of him trying to be quite nonchalant and, you know, tight-lipped and sort of, I've got to have a straight face in my passport photo. And I just thought it just showed this side of him that you don't think about or that you don't see normally. So I actually entered these into a competition in Wigan, and I actually won first prize. This is the one I've won first prize with. They actually selected all 3 of them, but this was the particular one that won the first prize. I actually can't remember why they said it was, because they're very similar. Like I say, it's just a slight tilt of his head either way for the other 2. So yeah, it was sort of coming to the end of my embroidery journey because it was just taking up too much time and energy, and I think I was just losing the momentum with the theme as well. I was sort of thinking, where am I going to take this? Is this literally what I'm going to be doing forever? I thought I wanted to experiment with some other things. So this next piece is of my great uncle John and my nana Elsie. So I never knew these 2 people. So my nana is my dad's mother. So my grandpa's wife. So she died way before I was born. I do sometimes believe that maybe I am her reincarnated because we're very similar apparently, and I remind my dad of my nana. And I mean, she looks quite like me, to be honest. When you see pictures of when she was young, it was really scary. I was like, oh my god, that looks like me. And I think that was the other reason why I was interested. I was like, you know, this is such a lovely picture of my nana and my great uncle John. And the other thing is, this is from like peacetime between them, because they had an argument over money and never really spoke to each other again, which is really sad. Okay, so this is editing Sarah, and I just have to apologise for the dog that is going for it in the background in this section. I think he comes back a bit, you know, later. He wants to be in the video, but yeah, I'm really sorry about that. And on with the video. But yeah, this one was a bit where I was wondering what I was doing. Where was my work going? I wasn't quite sure what I was doing anymore. And the embroidery, like I say, it sort of reached this point where I was like, well, I'm good at it, and you know, it looks great, but where is it going? And I sort of wanted something that I could achieve a bit quicker, because it was taking so long to achieve. And I'm really slow at painting anyway. Like, I want to enter an exhibition. This is like a side note. I want to enter an exhibition and they want 5 pieces of work because they want to get to know your work and everything. I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I was sort of counting up. I was like, right, I've got this one, that one, that one, and that one. And I was like, I don't actually think I have a 5th painting. Like, how is that possible? I've left uni since 2017 and I'm just so slow at making work. It's just, yeah, I needed a quicker way. I mean, now I'm saying that, really it's not helped, has it? Like, maybe I should have just carried on doing embroidered portraits. Maybe I'd have just got quicker. Anyway, I think with this piece as well, I was finding limitations with the embroidery and the way I was doing it. So again, these bits, there's not much embroidery going on. This is the lightest part of the actual shading, and therefore I've just done a limited amount of stitches. But then when we get to here, the amount of stitching I've put on, and if you look at it sort of from the side, you can see how lumped the eyes are, because I've had to put so many stitches in to create the right amount of shading and detail. So I was finding it quite difficult, and trying to pull the needle through all that stitching was so difficult. It was really hurt your hands. And I think that I have such attention to detail. It has to look perfect for me. So I think that was like another limitation that I was coming to. So I was thinking, what can I do? What is going to make me feel like I'm achieving something and that's a bit easier and, you know, quicker to complete. So this isn't actually my next piece. My next piece is of my gran and her little budgie, which was called Billy and Babs. And actually that was my second second piece that I actually got into an exhibition. So that was for the Pevio. Now I can't actually show you that painting because my gran owns it now. She has it on her wall. So I will insert a picture here. So Billy and Babs was actually the first painting I'd done in so long. And I decided I was sort of going to keep to the sepia kind of look. So the picture that I used was actually black and white, but I changed it to sepia just to give it a bit of a different feel. And then this one, Hazel Grundy 1988. This one was actually my first coloured portrait that I had done. And actually, I have. I'm going to give you a sneak peek because they are awful. I got down my GCSE paintings from the loft. They're bad. They're bad. So, bear in mind that this was the first coloured painting that I had done. Like, when I say coloured painting, I mean like not in black and white. It was like using actual skin tone colours. Yeah. So this one's from like what, 2011. Prepare yourselves. Kylie, looking like, well, I mean, we all know what she looks like. So, I mean, the comparison, woohoo, I think I've improved. Let's never, ever speak of this again. So, with this painting, I was trying to move my theme on. So, the fact that I'd sort of used the passport photos for my grandpa, I was thinking, you know, I wanted to bring his life sort of out of the shadows, if you want to call it that, and bring it to the forefront. So I was looking through some family photographs. I thought, I don't want to do any more black and white ones, I want to do colour ones. So I was looking through and I found this picture that was actually of my Auntie Linda, and in the background you can see my mum, and she's holding a little wine glass, and she's sort of turned around, and I think she must have seen and thought, oh, someone's taking a picture, maybe I should smile. So she's almost just about to smile, and I just thought, wow, she looks so beautiful. And I thought, that is a picture that you don't think of. When you think of my mum, you don't think of that picture because she's in the background. I thought, that is the piece that I want to do. I was like, there's so much written in her face and she just looks so serene and young, and I just thought, this is perfect. I also like the fact that it's not posed. She's not stood for the picture like, you know, she's literally been caught off guard. And I think you don't get that when you're looking through your family photographs, because, you know, on my degree I was told I've got to use my own reference pictures. I mean, I don't know many people, so, and I wasn't confident enough to like go up and be like, yo, can I take your picture? And also I didn't really have a theme that linked with that either, so I was a bit like, what am I going to do? So I went for family photographs. I mean, we own them all, you know. I don't have to ask their permission because they're my photographs, well, the mum and dad's, whatever, the family's photographs. Yeah, so it's quite difficult to actually find pictures that are not posed, and sort of trying to select the ones that if they are posed, they kind of look a bit natural and it sort of says something kind of thing. So this painting has recently been in the John Moores Painting Prize. Now, the John Moores Painting Prize is quite prestigious, so I was like, oh my god, I got it. I didn't win anything, but who cares? I was in the Walker Art Gallery for like a year. Even though, well, I mean, half the time it was there was a pandemic going on, so you couldn't go and see it. But they had it as a virtual exhibition you could look at online, and then I did actually manage to go and see it in real life and have my picture next to it. So I think another thing with this piece is that because it was my first painting, like I've never been great with hair. I've never been great at drawing. Well, I've drawn hair before with coloured pencil and it did quite well, but when it came to painting, I was a bit like, I don't know what I'm doing. So the hair for me is not the best. Yeah. And obviously her jumper, well, it's not obvious, but her jumper's knitted, and I was like looking at it thinking, am I gonna paint every single stitch on this? And I was like, no, well, let's just imagine it instead. So this isn't as like close to realism as I usually do, but I kind of like that. I don't want my paintings to be like a photograph completely. I want them to be like, oh, it's painted. Oh, you know, and you can see the little bits of detail and the brush strokes and things like that. I like that kind of feel to it. One thing I did struggle with painting was painting on a white canvas. For some reason, I mean, I'm not great at judging. It sounds stupid because I'm a painter. I find it difficult to judge tone and colour on white backgrounds. For some reason, I started painting a self-portrait. This is when I was trying to get into painting, and I did it on white. And I was so pink, it was ridiculous. Like, as I was painting, I was like, oh my god, why am I so pink? Why can't I get this colour right? So I ended up getting some linen canvases, which are brown. And for some reason I can judge the tone a lot better on there. So as I was doing the skin, I was like, oh, it works on here somehow. So now I am like, I must paint on linen. I am trying to sort of steer myself away from that. So I've done some backgrounds on some white canvases, just try and bring some of that brown back into the canvas, and then I'm going to paint over the top of that, because linen canvases are quite limited in what you can buy, and I know that I should buy my own and stretch them, but I actually priced that up, and oh my god, they are expensive. I need the cheap options, please. So this next painting is only Diddy. I was sort of experimenting on the different sizes and what they kind of look like. So this one's of my granddad. This is my mum's dad. And again, like with my grandpa, he died when I was about 6. They died sort of within a year of each other. So I don't really remember him that well. I really wanted to paint him. I painted my gran, I've painted my grandpa, and I've also painted my nana. I was like, let's get granddad in on this. So I think this one especially was just me practicing more with actually coloured paintings. This was my only second full colour portrait painting. And I think I really loved how I'd sort of progressed with it, even just after one painting. So I feel like the detail I got in his glasses and in his eyes, and what I love about my work is when someone can look at it and recall something from it. So even if it is that they see, like for example with the previous painting that I showed you of my mum, Hazel Grundy, 1988, when that was up in the John Wells Painting Prize, one of the actual people that were involved with the John Wells Painting Prize, she actually sent me a picture of her mum, literally with the big Deirdre Harlow glasses and the permed hair, and she was like, just reminded me of my mum from the same era. And I was like, that is exactly what I want with my work, is to invoke a memory in somebody else through my family, through my work, through my painting. So this was more of a personal reaction, but when I painted this, my mum and my gran were like, oh, I remember that shirt. I remember, my gran was like, I remember ironing that shirt, I remember the colours in it. And I think to just see their reaction to me bringing back to life Grandad again, it was just really beautiful. And that's the kind of sensitivity I like in my work. So this next piece is a big one, like it's huge. I would say, apart from my embroidered portraits when I was at uni, this is like the biggest piece I've ever painted before. So this was kind of, I feel like I have 2 lines of inquiry within my work. So I've got like the sensitive family kind of side and looking at memory and sort of looking at my heritage and my history. And so this other line of inquiry is just me as I am now, and how I'm feeling. I'm not exactly great at articulating my own personal emotions within paint. I know a lot of people can literally paint how they're feeling onto a canvas. I'm not hugely great at that. I'm just so like controlled and precise, and I'm like, got to do it like this and that, and I've got to grid it, and it's got to be perfect. I'm just such a perfectionist. It's like my downfall. But anyway, so this was when it was during lockdown that I took these pictures last year. And was it last year? How long has it been? It's been ages. No, it was last year, 2020. Yeah, 2020 was last year. So I'd taken these pictures. I was feeling really low. I'd had some stuff going on in my personal life, and I felt really crap. But I also felt vulnerable to the point where I was like, let me take a picture of this. Let me document this. I feel like it's needed to be documented. So I did. I took some pictures. I took quite a few. And this is one of the ones that I liked the best. So when I was painting it, this was actually on a white canvas. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I've not exactly judged, again, I've not judged the tone very well in this. It's quite pale, and there's not, if you compare it to the photograph, which we're not going to do, because it doesn't have to look like the photograph, I've not got it as, there's not much depth in it. It's hard to explain, but I just cannot judge the tone properly, especially when it's on me. It seems to be, when I paint a picture of me, I just don't judge the tone properly for some reason. But the biggest challenge with this piece was the hair. Like, I've never done it. Like I said, was a bit, what am I doing with the one of my mum? So with this one, it was like, I'm going to have to go all out on this because there is so much hair. So I kind of finished everything but the hair, and the hair took me the longest to do because it was just so fiddly. But I actually think I did quite well in the end. I don't think it's quite I don't think it's too bad. So with this piece, I kind of want to explore this a bit more in my work. I want to do more self-portraits and more like documenting me now and, you know, how I'm feeling and, you know, because I internalise quite a lot of things, how I'm feeling. I only tell my therapist about it and maybe my best friend, but yeah. So I feel like you can tell maybe I'm internalising something here and I am thinking about something and it's somewhat painful. I'm not smiling and I mean the way I'm dressed I'm sort of a bit sloppy, aren't I? I've literally just got a t-shirt on. So yeah, I want to extend that line of inquiry of me being a bit vulnerable and me showing my vulnerability, and also the fact that I'm showing so much skin. That's not normally what I do. I like cover up quite a lot. I'm like a baggy t-shirt, leggings kind of girl. So this was like it was quite intense, and the fact that my head's so big and so I really want to explore this a little bit more, but I still want to carry on with the 2 lines of inquiry that I have at the moment. So this was a painting that I shelved for quite a while. So I'd done like her face and I'd done, when I say her, it's me. I have this thing that when I've painted something, they end up being a her or a him, or they're not like, oh, my mum, I've just painted my mum. If I talk about it, I'm like, she's like this and she's like, so this is actually me as a kid, but I'm just like, her. Oh dear. Anyway, so I shelved this for quite a while because the wood, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to paint this much wood. Never painted wood before and I was just like, I can't do it, it's not possible, I can't do it. So she'd been shelved for ages and like my friend had been saying to me, she was like, you need to just do it. You can't just leave it shelved, you can't start this painting and not do it. So I am so glad that I did do it in the end. And the wood actually, I mean, it took me a while, but I actually really enjoyed painting it. It was quite therapeutic to sort of get all the little wood knots in and everything. And what I loved about this picture, this is another one like within my line of inquiry. This is not a picture that you would put up. The actual photograph, it's me like, you know, my mum's shoved me on this bench and she's just like, sit there and let me take a picture of you in this nice dress, and I'm just like, it's windy and I don't want to be here. And I just thought it was so funny, and my face is just a picture, yeah, a picture. So again, I wanted to sort of bring pictures that you wouldn't normally think of or put up in your house, like to the forefront. I just really liked the idea of me looking a bit miserable and, you know, I look a bit naffed off, don't I? Like, I don't want to be here. Mum, what are you doing? So this is actually the first background I've ever done. Even like with pencil drawings, I've never done a background before. I mean, what have I been missing out on here? Because I think it looks great. So I need to do more backgrounds. So this one belongs with my current work in progress, which I'm really struggling with at the moment. Like, I've got art block with it. I'm not sure what to do. And it's stressing me out because I need to make work quicker. And I just keep being like, I can't do it. So this is the one I'm working on at the moment. And I love this. There's a little like smiley face that I've accidentally put in, and he looks like a little spud, and he needs to leave. He needs to leave because I just keep seeing him and I'm like, it's ruined the whole painting. But anyway, so this one again is like a picture of me that you wouldn't like put up because I've fallen asleep on the stairs, you know. And it was quite funny. My mum was like, you put a dirty skirting board in, you can't put a dirty skirting board in, you could have made it a bit cleaner. And I'm like, Mum, it's not even your house. I was at a childminder's house. I was like, calm down. And just the idea of my mum's there thinking, oh my god, a dirty skirting board, everybody's going to see that and think it's mine. But my auntie Linda actually commented saying, dirty skirting board. She was like, that is the telltale sign that you've got toddlers. So I kind of think that's quite endearing, and I've left it in for that fact. So I'm excited about the thought of finishing this, but again, I need to power through and actually get it done and paint it. I think it's the fact that there's so much carpet on the reference picture as well. I mean, I don't pick easy things. This is the thing. Maybe I should just pick easier things to paint. My outfit, oh my god, I've got like checkered stuff, and I've got pearls on. I mean, I don't know what on earth my mum dressed me in, or the childminder, I guess. But I think that's another thing. I get quite daunted by things, and I don't think I can achieve them when, I mean, I can achieve them. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my paintings and my embroideries. I'm not exactly great at articulating my work. I feel like I have a lot to say, and I mean I do have a lot to say when I'm talking with friends and family, but when it comes to my work I kind of get a bit shy about it, and I'm like, is this what I mean? I think this is what I mean. So I hope I made sense, and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about any of my work, then just let me know in the comments below and I will try and answer them. So my next few videos I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour, so it's going to be in my degree work sketchbooks and also a tour of my degree work. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I might end up doing them in 2 parts because it might be a lot. I kind of want to go quite in depth, so anybody who is doing a fine art degree at the moment, you'll be able to see exactly what you need in your degree sketchbooks, or if you're just interested in what a first degree, because I have a first, what a first degree sort of sketchbook and work looks like, and hopefully you'll get an insight into, you know, how you need to work to get and to achieve that first in your degree. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon, and I hope you have a great week.